Okay, so this is Jill Simonello with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and we managed to be on site when they revealed the Hyundai Tucson last night. Now, because of the crowds and because of the darkness, I really didn't get a lot of good video, so I wanted to take a minute in the daylight to walk you around this vehicle, through this vehicle, and show you what it looks like. We don't have really any specifications or details at this time, but again, I can show you what it looks like. So the most striking thing about the 2022 Hyundai Tucson is going to be the lighting signature. Now, it's really hard to tell in the daylight. Maybe I can show some B-roll from last night, but these things right here are actually part of the headlight. And as you can tell during the day, when the lights are off, it completely blends in with the grille. So kind of an interesting little design touch there, and at night it is very distinctive and it looks very futuristic actually. As you look down the side of the vehicle, you can also see a lot of the design signature that is also in the new Elantra. You see just a little bit of the zigzag that you see on that sedan. Moving to the rear of the vehicle, you'll see another unique lighting signature here. Again, the daylight doesn't give it as much attention as you'll see at night. I'll try and show some B-roll of that, but it pretty much sparkles and it looks really cool. Hyundai has said this is the best-selling SUV for them, and so it makes sense that they're kind of making a statement with this next-gen vehicle, especially in terms of design and the technology. So here you'll see this chrome piece that goes all the way from the front through to the back, and it widens with a little detail here, which, as Hyundai says, gives the appearance of motion. So another really interesting thing about the Tucson is going to be the trio of powertrain. So you're going to have your standard gasoline powertrain, 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, but you're going to have two electrified options as well. So a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid. Both of those will operate off of a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine mated to an electric motor. So really interesting, the plug-in hybrid will get 28 miles of all-electric range and 70 miles per gallon equivalent. As you might expect, the plug-in hybrid will have just a little bit more power than the hybrid. Moving inside the vehicle, you can see this is another huge design statement from Hyundai. And for me, the most noticeable and perhaps the most controversial feature is going to be this gauge cluster right here. It's basically a horizontal iPad of sorts that will display your driving information. We'll have to see how it works once you're actually driving and how the sun might reflect off of it. Obviously, we're sitting here in the shade, so that doesn't give you a really good gauge of the situation. The 10.25-inch screen on the center stack is now optional, as is the wireless charging. Now, the interesting thing to note here is that there are no hard touch buttons or dials. So I'm going to point out right now, your volume and your radio station controls are all going to be on that little touch bar below the screen. Another technology introduced with the introduction of the 2022 Hyundai Tucson is this airflow for the HVAC. Rather than having a solid vent on one side or the other, it has vents kind of all across the dashboard in front of the passenger, and the idea there is that it will help the airflow better throughout the vehicle. You can see an available panoramic roof here. And some really interesting leather seats. You will also get the touch gear shift instead of an actual gear shifter. So the push button gear shifting. This particular model we're looking at has heated and cooled seats, as well as a heated steering wheel. That, of course, has become a personal favorite of mine. You can see the camera icon on there, and this will come with an available surround view camera. Now, another thing that Hyundai really prides itself in and has focused on a lot is the safety technology. And this is a high-level version, so you see a lot of these buttons here for adaptive cruise control. That's an available feature, but standard you'll get things like lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking, automatic headlights, and your basic rear view monitor. But pretty much the gamut of available features is available of anything that you might expect, including, you know, the ultrasonic rear seat passenger, or the ultrasonic rear passenger alert, blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise control, rear cross traffic alert, and automatic reverse braking. So let's take another look at this panoramic roof. Another thing Hyundai has made a point of is the fact that there is really good legroom back here. They call it best in class. We haven't had the chance to look up the specs yet, but as you can see, some really decent legroom. Although I will point out, my feet are kind of dangling. I am about 5 feet tall, and you know, this about the size of a 10-year-old probably. So that seems a little bit weird to me, but good knee room. You got a couple of USB ports back here, and just some nice finishing touches. Also, you can see these seats recline, and they are in the reclined position. See, I'll get out and you can see that better. So just an extra little comfort feature for rear seat passengers. Finally, before I stop talking, I'd like to point out the cargo area. Hyundai has increased cargo volume back here by 7.7 cubic feet. So lots of space for rollerboards, golf bags, anything you might need for a road trip for a family of 5. And hopefully it comes with an adjustable height, because that's a little bit tall for me. All right, so that is our first look at the 2022 Hyundai Tucson. It will be available in the spring of 2021. So stay tuned for more details as we get closer to the actual launch of this all-new next-gen Tucson.